I'm Kaitlyn, I'm 29. I live at home with my husband, my 15-month-old son, and I have a career in forensics and I have CF. Throughout my pregnancy, I did not end up gaining much weight at all. Cooper was born at 4.1 kilos and I gained probably about 5. Most people with CF are a bit smaller, a bit petite, and when you are growing a baby that is sucking everything out of you to grow, I couldn't keep up with his weight gain and my weight gain. I had a lot of comments saying, "Oh, you're so lucky, you've barely put any weight on." I was constantly eating. I would have 2 breakfasts, 2 lunch. Anything that I could get in to keep that weight on was a bonus. I was eating a lot. And when they say eating for 2, I think I was eating for 5. Towards the end, they suggested that I preserve all my energy. I went on mat leave early. That last 6 weeks was really looking after purely myself and trying to keep him inside for as long as possible. He still came early, but he was very healthy. Juggling being a mum and having CF has definitely been the hardest thing that I have ever done. Fitting in treatment with a baby is hard. There is little structure. As much as you try and have a routine, it's baby comes first. Now, after a really hard 6 months, I've now realized I need to put myself first sometimes, which is not easy as a mum. So now I have an hour and a half, 2 hours a day where I just have time for physio and airway clearance. And it's been hard to rely on people when I've always been very independent. I've always taken myself to doctor's appointments since the moment I could drive. I just said to mum and dad, "There's no point you taking a day off. I can drive, I'll get myself there." So from that moment, it's just been, and not that my parents aren't involved, they are the first people I call when I need them. It's just, I've wanted to be so independent. But when there's another tiny human that relies on you for everything, you need to rely on the people that you need. And for me, it was hard to accept it because for so long I had not needed that. Cooper's the first grandchild. All our parents are obsessed. You know, we've constantly got offers. "Oh, if you've got to go to the hospital, like, we'll look after Cooper, we'll have him. Do you need a night out? Do you know, if we'll take him if you want to catch up on some sleep." In the early days, my parents would come around. Even when he was just sleeping, they'd be there to keep an eye on him, and I could go and nap or, you know, catch up on a physio session that I might have missed for 2 days because having a newborn's rough. Just needing that constant support from my partner and our parents, my support network, it's something that a lot of people don't understand. And when Kane says he can't go out, or "No, sorry, I have to be at home with the baby," you know, a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, why can't Katie do that? Like, why do you need to be home as well? Why does it need to be both of you? Surely you can get out and come for a beer, come for a game of golf, like, go to the gym." You know, we're both tired. It's not as easy as saying, "Oh, well, one of you may as well go out and have some free time," because I'm running on empty. And when I'm running on empty and looking after a baby, it's just recipe for burnout. Burnout for me, I'm absolutely exhausted. My immune system crashes. I'm getting sick. I'm prone to infection. I lose weight. I'm stressed. It's just a downward spiral for everything, and trying to play catch up is 10 times harder. Physio and treatments for me are twice a day, most days. Normally of a morning, I will start with nebulizers, then airway clearance. We'll get up, we'll have breakfast together, tablets, antibiotics, all of that sort of stuff, and then I can start my day from there. And then the same thing of a nighttime. I'm lucky enough that Kane does bedtime with Cooper. So the moment I say goodnight, I give him his cup of milk, say goodnight to them, and I'm off to do nebulizers again. Normally by the time Kane's got Cooper down to bed and he's washed up from dinner, then I'm finished, so we get some time to relax together, which is nice after a big day. Since November last year, I have had 3 hospital admissions and 1 home admission in a 6-month period, which has been hard, but I know that Cooper needs me well, so it's not something I can really negotiate with anymore. Much to my team's disappointment, I probably should have had a tune-up, but the thought of being away from Cooper for that tune-up was not, I couldn't make that decision. And it came to a point where I did not get the choice. I had a large amount of hemoptysis, which forced me to be admitted. I was quite lucky all the way through my pregnancy. I felt like I was coping. I was on top of everything, mostly physically and mentally. I was the happiest. And then, being admitted for something completely out of my control was it was horrible. Definitely the hardest time, hardest thing I've ever been through. And the nature of my admission was something I'd never really experienced before. So it was completely, I just was not prepared. And the toll that took on me mentally was unimaginable. I had never even thought I'd be in the position I was in. So while I was in hospital, I had a code blue called on me, which I'd never even thought of. I never thought that would ever happen to me. And in that moment, I just remember seeing, so Kane and Cooper had visited during the day, and on the whiteboard in my room, there was this big love heart with Cooper's name in it and said, "I love you, Mummy." And when everything was happening, that's all I could look at. And he was what got me through that. I didn't think without him I was coming home, which was really, really hard to process. The fact that I didn't know what really had triggered it, besides an infection, did I lift Cooper the wrong way? Did I bend over wrong? Did I do something that just triggered this massive hemoptysis? Coming home, I was so cautious. I didn't want to bend over and unstack the dishwasher. I didn't want to lift Cooper. I didn't want to rock him to sleep or put him to bed. And as much as my heart wanted to, I couldn't bring myself physically to do those things. And for me, I've always been independent and active, and I've done everything for Cooper. It was a real shock to my mental health. We're quite lucky. We have a good psychologist with the CF team, and she's been able to help me through. The last 6 months has really opened our eyes to the importance of family time. I'm back at work part-time. Kane's decided to use the rest of his parental leave, but instead of taking a block of 14 weeks, he's doing it part-time, which means that one of the days that I'm at work, Kane and Cooper get their lads' time. So they'll go to the driving range, they'll go to play centres, they'll go for walks and runs, and it's just nice knowing that they've got that one-on-one time that I had for so long. I always look forward to Fridays because it's just the 3 of us. If it's raining, we're playing inside with Cooper, we're drawing, he's loving to paint at the moment, which is lots of fun.
Job.
And if it's sunny, we're going for walks or little road trips and going on coffee dates where Cooper can have his baby chino and we can also be caffeinated. And then, play centres and parks. It's nice to have that family time. When I had Cooper, I was quite hesitant to join a mother's group because I was worried about comparison. Having to explain CF to a whole nother bunch of people that would not understand. Having a baby is hard enough, as well as having CF, and it's just something I thought, if I'm hearing people complain about not sleeping and then, getting about and doing their day, like that's all I wanted to do. I couldn't care if I didn't sleep, but then on top of not sleeping, I had to fit in all of these, health treatments and appointments and things like that. And I just wasn't ready to, I'm normally quite an empathetic person. And, if someone says to me, oh, like I'm sick I'm like, oh, okay, like that must be really hard. In my mind, I'm like, trust me, I know what it's like to be sick, and a runny nose is not sick. You're fine. So I avoided mothers groups. Although I have always felt like CF has held me back in certain things, I was determined that it would not hold me back from being a mum. I didn't get that preparation time to prepare for being pregnant and motherhood, but I honestly would just have a routine that I could hold through pregnancy of airway clearance and physio, being on top of medication, so you are in the best physical state that you can be in when you have a baby, because that newborn bubble, you don't want to be spending even half an hour away from them. And, at that point, if you're well enough, half an hour might be all you need to just maintain yourself. If you are well enough and have the option to do it however it might be, whether it's natural or IVF, whether you're adopting or anything, it's just make it happen. It's worth it. Being a mum is the most amazing, beautiful, hard roller coaster ride that you'll ever go on. It comes with a lot of mum guilt, which was something that I could never have prepared for. Obviously, every mum will have mum guilt at some point, but as a CF mum, it's more, am I going to be around long enough for them to finish school? Am I going to be around to watch them, have their first partner and have their own children and, run cross country? Am I going to be well enough to even train with them for a cross country? It's all those little things that used to consume me, but now, instead of letting them consume me, I'm trying to focus on just making sure that in this moment, I'm well enough, I can do these things, and, Cooper's gonna grow up knowing what CF looks like. And I hope that in that, it just makes him more of an empathetic and caring person.